Puerto Rico is already evening. How are you doing, Elizabeth?
I'm good. It's morning here and I'm feeling fresh.
That's amazing. So today we're going to talk about the film that you star in, Diabolic. And I gotta say, a what an amazing film. Super fun. I love the horror, love the story behind um Diabolic. And my first initial question for you today is how was it to what was your process to become Elise?
So I did a lot of research into the FLDS church and kind of Elisa's upbringing that's so fundamental to who she is. Obviously, there's a lot of suppression and oppression of women, their rights, their bodies, their minds. And that was really important for who Elise is and who she is into adulthood. She's someone who doesn't really know herself, doesn't really trust herself, really. She's also missing large parts of her memory. So we've got that added in as well. She's like got all of these blank pieces to her that she's trying to make sense and put together and make it a personhood. So that was really interesting, and that was what partly drew me to her character as well. She's got all of this kind of like internal conflict going on, and then as flashbacks start and these kind of blackouts that she's having and her past aren't kind of comes crashing into the present, all of it starts to leak out in a way that's really dangerous. And I don't want to give too much away, but that was really fun as well, just kind of to have this all this anger and this bubbling up start to really spill out everywhere.
Did by any chance, while you were doing the research for this type of like
Mhm.
religion, right? Were you I'm not gonna say amazed, but were you intrigued on how these type of like Christian beliefs were out there in those times and probably still continue nowadays, probably in somewhere that we don't know, in a place far, far away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the FLDS, it's a very cult-like offset of the Mormon Church, and there's a lot of information about it out there now, and it's in the spotlight a bit at the moment. There's I mean, a major help for me was the documentary "Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey" on Netflix, which was great for research, and I was shocked. It seems very archaic, a lot of the beliefs and the practices that still occur in the FLDS and kind of especially the more sect-like, cult-like parts of the FLDS, and especially when Warren Jeffs, the leader, was kind of still active and still terrorizing, particularly the women in the FLDS church. So yeah, I was really fascinated by that. I was horrified by some aspects of it. I mean, one thing that really interested me was, and this happens in the film, it's a practice called baptism of the dead, which is a real thing that happens in the FLDS church. And when I first read the script and when I first spoke to the director Dan about it, we both kind of were shocked because we kind of thought that it was something that had been maybe made up or at least embellished for the nature of a horror script, but it's a real thing that occurs, and I mean it obviously has been ramped up a little bit, but I was just yeah, I was very surprised by it all, and by the fashion and the way that they live, the way that they kind of move through the world. It seems almost like a period piece within the film because it is so old-fashioned and yeah, yeah, it's very strange.
And were there any traits that Elise connected with you that you both have like any type of similarities on your day-to-day basis?
Yeah, definitely. So at least there's a lot of elements of control within her as a person. She's kind of trying to keep a lot. I mean, there's a lot that she doesn't know about herself and remember, but she's also keeping a lot in, and there's a lot of oppression and suppression of emotions and desires and beliefs and I definitely struggle with that. I'm a perfectionist and I'm a people pleaser, and I have struggled with that in the past. I'm trying to get better at it. But kind of this wanting to be a certain way or to come across a certain way to others and to be the best version of oneself that you can and the most good version of yourself that you can, which I think is admirable. But I think if you're suppressing your authentic self and you're kind of allowing your this kind of self to grow stunted because of that, um, I think it's a terrible thing for who you are and for who you can become. So I definitely relate to that and kind of to growing up in that way. At least at the beginning of the film as well, she's painting and I'm an artist as well. So she's
Okay.
using, yeah, yeah. So she's using paint, and this is what I do, using paintings to kind of understand her feelings and her psyche and herself. So I really connected to that part of her as well.
That's amazing. And while
Yeah.
filming, were there any moments on any of the scenes that you got to do on Diabolic that like as soon as you finished it, you were like, I think I'm not doing this again. It freaked me out.
Yeah, there was definitely some challenging scenes to shoot. I found a lot of the like the practical stuff and the kind of messy, gory stuff. I actually really enjoyed. It was
Okay.
hard, and I probably wouldn't want to go back to some of those moments. But I think the hardest one for me was actually the opening sequence. And there's parts of it that you'll see in the trailer where it's the baptism scene where there's a lot of dunking in the water because of the nature of it being low budget indie filmmaking. We didn't have multiple cameras and we had to do a lot of takes of that dunking and just being dunked in the water and lifted back out again. It was just very hard on the body. And at the end of it, and it was freezing as well because it was winter in Adelaide and the water was warm. It was heated up, but it wasn't quite hot enough. And after a
Okay.
while, I was just shivering and ready for it to be over. Yeah.
Um, this would be my final question for you
Yeah.
today. Well, at least for you today, for me it's tonight. Uh, if you could describe Diabolic with one word, what would it be?
Ooh. I'm going to say two words.
Sure.
Pandora's box. Pandora's box.
I see it. Yes, I totally see it.
Yeah,
Uh,
bit of that.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much for having us the time to talk about Diabolic. And
Mhm.
I hope that we can get to sit down another time for any other projects. I really enjoyed the film, and thank you for
Awesome.
giving us the time.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.